This will be a response to Talili and her video on the nice guy syndrome. Being a former quote-unquote nice guy myself, I feel that I have an insight into this topic that perhaps she's missing out on. The first huge issue I have with her video is that throughout her whole video she doesn't even touch upon the idea that a woman may make the wrong choice in choosing her boyfriend, that she may choose a guy that's a dick and an asshole and that abuses her. The implication I get from watching her video is that it's always the guy's fault. The guy who's complaining about a girl going off with some asshole instead of choosing him. It's always that guy's fault for not doing something or not connecting with the girl or not creating attraction in her, which, you know, I might get into later, but she never even touches on the fact that it's in any way the woman's fault for choosing who she is with. And if you think that women don't choose assholes or dickheads or abusers as their significant other, you are living in La La Land, because people can see this happening all over the place. Which brings me to my next point. The major issue and the major reason and the major problems that I had as a nice guy is that I would treat a woman really, really nice, and she would go off not with some other guy who treated her better, but with some complete and utter dickhead. And this, I believe, is the huge distinction and the major reason why most guys, you know, are opening their eyes and seeing the truth of what's going on, which people like Talili don't really mention. Because it's not the fact that, you know, you're being nice to a girl and then she goes off with some really nice nerdy scientist guy who didn't forget her birthday like you might have done one time. So this guy remembers her birthday all the time and is super nice to her. I'm sure most nice guys would just mark it off as a, well, we didn't really connect together, so let's move on to somebody else. The reason why guys get pissed off is because they would be really nice to a girl that they like, that very friendly to her, you know, do favors for her, and she would reject them, and she'd say, you know, we just don't get along, we're just not connecting, we just don't have enough things in common. And then she would turn around and right in front of that guy's face would make up with some random guy she just met at the bar. So that's the major reason why nice guys say this kind of stuff, that they say that, oh, girls only like bad boys. That's why, because girls are actually going for bad boys right in front of them. It's not because the girl is going for somebody who's also nice. I think that's a very important distinction to make in understanding why people are saying this, instead of just excusing it as, or that guy, he just doesn't can't let a girl go, he's just you know, pissed off because he couldn't get her. And you paint men as selfish and wanting sex, the men who, you know, who treat a woman nice, but the fact of the matter is all guys want sex, just like all women, I'm sure, at some point want something as well. That's human nature. Human nature is to want something that benefits you. And the main distinction is that sometimes you want something that benefits you but also benefits everybody else, and sometimes you want something for yourself and you don't give a shit about anybody else, or you want to make life miserable for everybody else. That's the only distinction. In the end, I believe everybody is selfish, but you want to make money and do it by designing a cure to cancer that everyone will buy from you, or you can want to make money and rob a bank. That's the main thing that separates people, whether they're good or bad. Now, this is the difference between a nice guy and a bad boy, the way I see it. A nice guy simply chooses the nice way to get a girl, which, by the way, in my opinion, doesn't work at all and is not the most efficient way to get a girl, but nonetheless, they, in their decisions, choose this path of being nice to somebody to get what they want. Whereas the bad boy, the asshole, still wants sex the same way, still probably wants a relationship, but they simply choose the other path. They choose the dark side, so to speak, to get what they want much quicker and with a lot more power for themselves. In fact, they are slightly, considerably more selfish. I mean, if you think about it, if a nice guy is willing to work their ass off because, all the stuff they buy for a woman and all these favors they do for a woman, by being nice to them, it costs their time, it costs their money, as opposed to, the bad boy, I don't know, being aloof and not really caring about a girl and forgetting her birthdays and not paying for any of her shit and making the girl buy them stuff. I mean, it's pretty obvious who the true selfish person in that relationship is. And yet women still persistently try to paint the nice guy as some horrible beast just because they are expressing their urges in a way that helps women. I know it sounds strange, and that's why it sounded strange to me as well. Hence why I'm not a nice guy anymore. So, I mean, I can talk about this topic for hours on end because and I can tell you some of the stories that I've experienced personally and which brought me to not being a nice guy anymore. But I'm sure there's plenty of, nice guys out there listening to this who had the same experiences or worse than me. What I will do is to kind of show that some women are quite insightful on the issue, which, I mean, it's obvious, even though you have all these women kind of just blaming men for everything. I want to link this article that is really an excellent article by this girl called Kimberly Pruitt, which I believe has a lot more either intelligence or insight or something that lets her see the kind of issues that are really happening out there and what's really going on. And she doesn't just blame men like some people do. So I'm going to link this article down below, and I highly recommend you read it. And, well, now my cat is calling me, and I still got a few more episodes of Breaking Bad to catch up on. So I'm going to go. But, feel free to tell me your nice guy story, maybe. And, yeah, I don't know, I'll be happy to share some of mine. They're pretty fucking terrible, but... Anyway, thanks guys, and see you later.